Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be making a hiking fanny pack. And this bag measures in at 8.5 by 7 with a 2.5 inch depth, making it the perfect size for all your hiking adventures. It's also one of the easier fanny packs to make, so if you're new to sewing, you should have no problem following the easy step-by-step tutorial. With all that being said, don't forget to grab the printable pattern and let's get started. Getting started with supplies, you'll need a half yard for your main fabric, and I recommend using a canvas, denim, or twill. These are all very durable fabrics and they're easy to work with. I'm going to be using an upholstery fabric. These can be a little bit tricky to work with because they're loosely woven, so they tend to unravel as you're making the bag. So just keep that in mind when you're picking out your fabrics. But like always, find a fabric that's really going to bring your design together. You'll need a half yard for your secondary fabric, and this is going to be used for the lining on the inside of the bag. So I recommend finding something that's lighter weight and durable. I'm going to be using a nylon material. It's very lightweight, it's easy to work with, and it also just makes for a nice lining. You'll need 3 zippers, 1 10-inch and 2 8-inch. I'm actually going to be cutting mine from a zipper roll. This is a great way to go. You minimize the waste and you can get precise cuts. You'll need 2 yards of 1.5 inch width webbing. This is going to be used for the strap. You can change up the size, but you shouldn't go anything higher than 1.5 inch. You can always go smaller. Going along with that webbing, you'll need 1 strap adjuster and 1 buckle. You also want both of these to match the width of your webbing. Since I'm using 1.5 inch width webbing, I'm going to be using 1.5 inch width hardware. Lastly, you'll need your pattern, and this pattern is available at properfitclothing.com. It's super easy to use. All you have to do is download it, print it off, tape it together, and you're ready to go. And before you start taping your pattern together, the best thing to do is to cut off the top and one of the side edges. This is going to allow you to overlap the pages for a perfectly aligned pattern. And once you have all your supplies gathered and your pattern printed out, it's time to move into cutting. And after taping your pattern together, it should look like this. Be sure to check your printer alignment for the best possible results. And from here, we're going to cut on the outside of the black line. And after cutting out all of the pieces, you'll end up with 4 webbing side panels cut out of your main fabric, 2 front top panels, 1 cut out of your secondary fabric and 1 cut out of your main fabric, 1 front middle pocket panel cut out of your main fabric, 2 front bottom pocket panels, 1 cut out of your secondary fabric and 1 cut out of your main fabric, 1 front pocket bottom lining panel cut out of your secondary fabric, 1 front top pocket lining panel cut out of your secondary fabric, 1 main front lining panel cut out of your secondary fabric, 2 front side zipper panels, 1 cut out of your secondary fabric and 1 cut out of your main fabric, 2 back side zipper panels, 1 cut out of your secondary fabric and 1 cut out of your main fabric, 2 bottom side panels, 1 cut out of your secondary fabric and 1 cut out of your main fabric, 2 main back panels, 1 cut out of your secondary fabric and 1 cut out of your main fabric. And lastly, the front, back, and side leather vinyl fabric panels. You'll need to cut 1 of each out of your leather, vinyl, or fabric. I'm going to be using a vinyl for the video. It really comes down to preference on what you want to use and what you have available. And this panel is going to go on the bottom of the bag as a protector, so that's why I'm going to be using a vinyl. But if you don't want to work with that material, you can just use your main fabric. If you do lean towards a leather, then I recommend finding something lighter weight and on the thinner side, because we're going to be rolling over the edges and that can be hard to do with a thicker material, but we'll get more into that once we start making the bag. Moving on to assembly, the first thing we're going to do is grab the front lining vinyl fabric panel and the front bottom pocket panel. Separate the fabrics with right sides facing up, and for this step we don't need the secondary fabric for the front bottom pocket panel, so we can place it off to the side. Using the pattern, locate the leather vinyl placement guide, and this is where we're going to place our vinyl or leather panel. If you're using fabric, you're just going to place the fabric there too. Then we're going to hem the top edge of the leather vinyl fabric panel 1/4 inch, place a few pins, make sure it's even and lines up with the bottom edge, and from here we're going to stitch directly on top of the hem. And for the best results, I recommend using an edge presser foot. And it is best to double check the placement using the pattern after you sew, because it's very important this panel falls in the correct spot, so that way when you put the side panel on later, all these panels line up on the bottom edge. But anyways, moving on, we can grab the secondary fabric panel for the front bottom pocket panel, locate one of your 8-inch zippers, and again the zipper just has to be wider than the width of the panels, because we will be trimming the ends in future steps. Using the pattern, locate the zipper edge, and then we're going to place the wrong side of the zipper to the right side of the secondary fabric and the right side of the main fabric to the right side of the zipper, lining up the outside edges. Place a few pins and stitch at 1/4 inch seam allowance along the zipper edge. Flip both of the sides back so the wrong sides are together, place a few pins lining up the outside edges, then grab the front middle pocket panel and the front bottom pocket lining panel. Using the pattern, locate the zipper edge for both of the panels, and this is where we're going to attach it to our assembly. So place the wrong side of the zipper to the right side of the secondary fabric and the right side of the main fabric to the right side of the zipper, and stitch the zipper edge at 1/4 inch seam allowance. For this step, we're going to leave the secondary fabric panel down, and we're only going to fold the main fabric panel upright so the right side is facing up. Before we add any more panels, we're going to first add a top stitch to both sides of the zipper. Be sure to move the bottom lining panel out of the way when you're top stitching the bottom side of the zipper. And that bottom lining panel will be hidden in future steps and it will become the back side of the pocket. Next, grab the front top pocket lining panel. You should have one secondary fabric layer and your second 8-inch zipper. And again, the zipper just has to be longer than the width of the panels. Place the wrong side of the zipper to the right side of the secondary fabric layer. The top edge of the middle panel to the right side of the zipper, lining up the outside edges, and then we're going to stitch that top edge at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Fold the panels away from the zipper so the wrong sides are together. Line up the outside edges for all of the panels, place a few pins, and grab the front top panels. You should have one main fabric and one secondary fabric. Using the pattern, locate the zipper edge, and this is going to be the edge we're attaching to the top zipper. Place the right side of the secondary fabric to the wrong side of the zipper and the right side of the main fabric to the right side of the zipper, lining up the side edges and stitch at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Fold the panels away from the zipper so the wrong sides are together, line up the outside edges and place a few pins. Once you have all the sides lined up, add a top stitch to both sides of the zipper. After finishing up the stitch, before moving on to the next step, you're going to want to add your zipper trains if you use zipper rolls. And after that, you'll want to grab your main front lining panel. You should have one cut out of your secondary fabric. Before we attach it to the back, you want to quickly use the pattern to make sure your assembly is the correct size. If everything was sewn at the correct seam allowance, then it should be the exact size as the main front lining panel. Then we're going to take that assembly, place it directly on top of the main front lining panel with wrong side together and stitch the top and side edges. We're not going to stitch all the way around, we're just going to stitch in small areas. The goal is just to connect these two panels so it's easier to attach in future steps. If you want to sew all the way around the outside edge, you can totally do that. But anyways, that's going to complete the front panel assembly, and for the moment we can place it off to the side and grab the webbing side panels. You should have 4 cut out of your main fabric. Along with the panels, you need to cut 2 1-yard strips of 1.5 inch width webbing. This is on the longer side, but I recommend cutting them at this length and then trimming them down in future steps. You also can switch it up and use 1-inch webbing, you just don't want to go anything higher than 1.5 inch width. Using the pattern, locate the webbing placement guide, and this is where we're going to be placing the webbing. Place the webbing on the placement guide, grab a second panel, place the right sides together, and do the same thing for the second webbing strip. Make sure the webbing is centered in the middle of the panel out of the way of the seam allowance, and about a 1/4 inch sticking out past the edge. Place a few pins so the layers don't shift around, and then we're going to stitch the top, side, and bottom edge at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And feel free to stitch back and forth over the webbing a few times to really lock it down. Grab the panels at the open end and flip the right sides out. You may need to use a pair of scissors or something pointy to poke out the corners. Then we're going to add a top stitch around the outside edge. And for this top stitch, you're going to want to sew directly over the webbing, and you can go back and forth or add a zigzag stitch to really lock it down more. The point where the webbing meets the fabric takes the most amount of strain, so you really want to add extra stitching there so it doesn't rip out over time. Other than that, these straps are complete and ready to install on the back panel, but for the moment we can place them off to the side. Next, we can grab the back leather vinyl fabric panel and also the main back panel. Separate the layers with right sides facing up, and for the main back panel, we don't need the secondary fabric layer in this step, so we can place it off to the side. Using the pattern, locate the leather vinyl placement guide, and just like we did in the previous steps, we're going to take that back leather vinyl fabric panel and place it directly on the placement guide. Roll the top edge over a 1/4 inch, place a few pins, and remember to be very precise with this hem. With the pins in place, we're going to add a top stitch directly on top of the hem. And after finishing up the stitch, double check using the pattern to make sure it's at the correct position. Because if they're not set correctly when you add the side panels, none of these panels at the bottom will line up. So it's best to quickly check this before you move on. But anyways, from here we're going to grab the secondary fabric layer for the main back panel, place it directly behind the main fabric layer with wrong sides together, line up the outside edges and grab both of the straps from the previous step. Using the pattern, locate both of the webbing panel placement guides, and they're going to be on the right and left side of the main back panel. Line up the outside edge of the webbing panel within the placement guide area. Allow the edge of the panel to hang off a 1/4 inch, and then add a stitch as close as you can to the outside edge. And this is just a placement stitch, so you want it to be on the inside of the seam allowance. It's going to keep the straps aligned and also make it way easier when we add the back panel to the side panel in future steps. We're also going to wait till the end to add the buckle because it makes it a lot easier to sew all these assemblies together without having the weight of the buckle. But for the moment, the back panel assembly is totally complete, so we can place it off to the side and grab the side leather vinyl fabric panel along with the bottom side panel. Separate the layers with the right side facing up, and for this step we don't need the secondary fabric panel for the bottom side panel, so place it off to the side. Using the pattern, locate the leather vinyl placement guide on the bottom side panel, and we're going to do it just like we did in the previous steps. We're going to place the side leather vinyl panel directly in the placement guide and hem the side edges a 1/4 inch. Just like with the previous leather vinyl panels, you really want to be precise, so I recommend marking the placement guides out with chalk before you start pinning. But once you have your pins in place and you're satisfied with your placement, we're going to stitch directly on top of the hemmed edges. And just like in the previous steps, after sewing, you're going to want to grab the bottom side panel and just double check your work. Make sure the placement is correct, because you can always dethread and reposition the leather vinyl panel before moving on. But if everything is looking good, the bottom side panel is complete, so for the moment we can place it off to the side and grab the front side zipper panel. Separate the layers. You should have one main fabric and one secondary fabric panel. Grab your 10-inch zipper, and again, this one just needs to be longer than the width of both of the zipper panels because we're going to be trimming the ends. Using the pattern, locate the zipper edge, and it's going to be the longest edge on the panel. Place the wrong side of the zipper to the right side of the secondary fabric and the right side of the main fabric to the right side of the zipper, lining up the outside edges, and stitch at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Pull the panels away from the zipper so the wrong sides are together, place a few pins lining up the outside edges, and grab the back side zipper panels. You should have one main fabric and one secondary fabric panel. Locate the zipper edge, and it's going to be the shorter edge on this panel. Place the panels on the opposite side of the zipper with right sides together, lining up the side edges for both the front side and back side panels. Place a few pins and stitch the zipper edge at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Pull the panels away from the zipper with wrong sides together, place a few pins lining up the outside edges. Double check to make sure the back side and front side panels line up, and add a top stitch to both sides of the zipper. After finishing up the stitch, double check both sides, make sure the secondary fabric and main fabric panels line up all the way around the outside edge. If everything is looking good, we can grab our complete bottom side panel, and what we're going to do is line the shorter side up with the shorter side of the zipper assembly. And place the right sides together, lining up the side edge. If sewn correctly, the zipper assembly should be the same exact width as the bottom side panel. If it doesn't line up, it may be due to the zipper. Zippers do come in different widths, and that can throw off the overall width of the zipper assembly. If this does happen, you can trim the panels to match. From here, we're going to grab the secondary fabric layer for the bottom side panel, line it up on the same edge with right sides together. Place a few pins and pull the bottom side panel back so it lines up with the opposite side of the zipper assembly. Do this for both the main and secondary fabric layer, and place a few pins. Now that we have everything lined up and ready to go, we're going to stitch both sides at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And it's very important you sew at exactly a 1/4 inch seam allowance, or else the circumference of this assembly will not line up with the front panel assembly or the back panel assembly. So you really want to double check this before we move on to the next step. We're also going to wait to trim the zipper ends, so don't worry about them until we finish this assembly. But anyways, from here we can flip the right sides out, and we're going to add a top stitch to both sides of the zipper assembly. To do this, we want to pull the side panels as far as we can away from the zipper assembly. So pull both the main and secondary fabric panels away from the zipper assembly and add a pin. Repeat this for the opposite side. Then add your top stitch on the bottom side panel side. After stitching, double check both layers, make sure everything is lining up and looking good. If it checks out, we can move on to the next step. And that's going to be adding the front panel assembly. So grab your front panel assembly. The first thing you want to do is mark the centers on the top and bottom edge, and do the same thing for the side panel assembly. It's very important you sew the front panel assembly to the correct side of the side panel assembly, and that's going to be the side that has the shorter zipper panel. So place the right sides together, lining the top edge up with the center on the zipper assembly and the bottom edge up with the center of the bottom. The best way to do this to keep all these layers lined up is to place pins all the way around the outside edge. And also, if everything was sewn correctly, the leather vinyl panel should line up. From here, we're going to stitch all the way around that outside edge at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And it can be tricky sewing around those corners, so take your time. It's very easy to miss a layer as you're sewing, but it's also easy to fix it. You can just go over and spot sew just the areas and layers that you missed. Flip the assembly around to the opposite side, grab the main back panel assembly, mark the centers on the top and bottom edge, and we're going to do the same exact thing. Place the right sides together, lining up the top edge with the zipper assembly side and the bottom edge with the bottom side. Just like in the previous step, we're going to place a ton of pins, then we're going to stitch all the way around that outside edge at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. This is probably the hardest stitch because you have so much material to move around, so just take your time. After finishing up the stitch, double check all the layers, make sure everything is looking good. I also like to flip the right sides out and check it from the right side. Sometimes you'll miss a main fabric layer that you need to go back and stitch. And another thing I like to do is pop out the corners, see how they look, because at this point you can always go back, reshape them, round them up, and make them look nice. Then we're going to flip the wrong sides back out, and starting with the main back panel, trim the webbing panels flush with the seam allowance and anything that sticks out past the seam allowance. Flip it around to the front panel side and trim the zipper ends flush with the seam allowance. What we're doing is cleaning up the edges so they're all one length, because we're going to be adding double fold bias tape. This step is optional, but it really adds another layer of strength and cleans up the raw edges. And I'm going to run you through a few different ways you can add it. The first method is using a bias tape making kit. In this technique, you make your own double-sided bias tape to the size and fabric you want to use. All you do is cut your strips, feed it through your folder, and press it when it comes out the folder. It's very easy to do, and you get to customize the bias tape to your exact measurements. The second technique is using a double fold bias tape binder. This is the most efficient technique. You cut your strips, feed it through your binder, and sew it directly to your raw edge. And the last technique is using pre-made double fold bias tape. You are limited to colors, but it's very easy to use. You fold it over the edge and stitch it down. And you want to make sure you apply it all the way around the outside edge. And I'm using the bias tape attachment. This is a great way to go if you plan on making a lot of bags. It gives me perfect bias tape every time, and then I also get to match the fabric on the inside so it looks very nice. Another thing it does that I really like is that it pops out the corners and just overall makes it look a lot more full. And like I said, this step is optional, but if you do plan on making these bags to sell, I highly recommend it because it's going to make the quality a lot nicer. But anyways, moving on to the next step, we're going to be adding the buckle, so grab your buckle and strap adjuster. I'm using a heavier weight buckle for this project. I'll link it down in the description below. But the first thing you want to do is slide the strap adjuster on about 1 to 2 feet. Feed the webbing through the 2 openings on the buckle. Pull some slack out of the strap adjuster and feed the webbing back through the openings from the bottom side. Roll the webbing end over once to get a clean edge and pin it down. Grab the second strap and we're going to feed it through the opposite side of the buckle. And for this side, we're just going to feed it through both of the openings, roll the webbing end over once and pin it down. Now that both ends are pinned down and ready to go, we're going to add a tack stitch to both sides. I'm just doing one single stitch. Feel free to add a zigzag stitch or a box stitch. After finishing up the stitch, we're going to jump right to the final step, and that's adding your branding. I use leather strips added with double-sided rivets. I also use the same technique to add zipper pulls. It's a great way to go, and it makes the zippers very easy to use. And jumping back to the strap really quick, if it's too long when you try it on, all you have to do is de-thread one side, trim it down, and re-stitch it. I like to make them a little bit longer so you can wear it multiple ways. You can also easily customize the leather panels by making them taller or shorter. Same goes for the dimensions. You can make it wider, taller, or even change up the depth. And if you do any of these customizations, it's still going to be the same exact process to make the bag. So have some fun with it, get creative, and make a bag that's really going to work for you. And there you have it, your hiking fanny pack is complete. Hopefully yours turned out as good as mine. If you are new to sewing and it didn't turn out that great, I recommend trying it a few more times. Sometimes when it comes to doing the corners and working with different fabrics, it can get a little bit tricky, but if you do it multiple times, you'll eventually dial it in. And then you can bring all that sewing skill into your next project. But like always, I want to see what you come up with, so tag me on Instagram at Properfit Clothing, and until then, I'm going to keep the videos coming at you, so I'll see you next time.